And back to the conversation about age and guns. A Johns Hopkins professor recently came out and said senior citizens are not the best gun owners because of their age. Well, if you just saw the last story that we aired, I spent time with a 78-year-old Oklahoman who says no way, no how. So joining me now to talk about the legal, the constitutional side of this argument is local attorney Chad Moody. So thank you so much for being with us here this morning.
Very glad to be here.
Thanks. You and I were talking earlier. Not only are you a lifetime NRA member, but you also initially got a law degree based off the Brady Bill, which has to do with federal background checks of firearms. You saw the piece, you read the article. What say you?
I think the notion that you would deprive those who are most frail, most in need of personal protection of their firearms is as ludicrous as things can get. There's an old saying that God made men and Sam Colt made men equal. If you think about the elderly person in their home, particularly in a bad neighborhood, and there's that knock on the door, do they want to answer that door if they don't have the wherewithal to defend themselves? In the absence of firearms, the biggest guy is king.
Mm-hmm. I was going to ask you, do you think if we were to start taking away senior citizens' firearms because of age, would there be that hike in crime sprees from criminals saying, oh, I'll target them because they're the most vulnerable?
I think it would be open season on the elderly.
And I was asking you too earlier, I said to you, a lot of people say at some point you have the conversation, do you take the car keys away from a grandparent? Do you have the same conversation about a firearm? You said completely separate conversations, completely separate issues there. Elaborate on that for us.
Well, firearms are used in very rare circumstances when there's a perceived danger, and way more often than not, that danger is abated, is eliminated by the mere presence of the firearm. Depending on whose numbers you believe, 1.5 to 2.5 million times a year, people use firearms to prevent violence. And I tell young women oftentimes that, don't want to be around firearms, that they need to keep a .870 shotgun by their door, because if that potential rapist or assailant is at that door and they just rack that shotgun, the sound of that is going to cause him to go away.
And you had also mentioned, too, owning a firearm is your Second Amendment constitutional right, whereas driving a car is a privilege.
There is no law more fundamental to our existence than the law of survival. And surviving is what a firearm allows you to do in a perilous circumstance.
And are there currently, speaking of law, are there currently any laws that have to do with age and guns? Is there anything out there right now that has to do with this conversation?
Of course, under federal law, the mentally ill are prohibited from having firearms, and so this ostensible concern of the Johns Hopkins professor is already taken care of. If that dementia has progressed to the point of mental illness, then they can't possess firearms anyway. But the strategy that is going on here with the anti-gun lobby is to divide and conquer. There's that old Martin Niemöller poem from WW2, but first they came for the trade unionists, and I was not a trade unionist, so I said nothing. If they can eliminate particular parties' desire to keep guns liberally available to everybody, one little group at a time, then eventually we find ourselves where nobody has guns because everybody's been taken apart piecemeal.
And in the piece, I talked to an NRA certified firearms instructor. He said age is nothing but a number, but when it comes to health, maybe like you were just mentioning, maybe certain red flags should be a factor in somebody not having a gun. Could you go through some of those mental illnesses that are listed and you can't have a firearm anymore, or what point does?
Well, they are not specifically listed in the statute.
Okay.
It's a fairly broad language in 991 in the federal code that those adjudicated as, I don't remember if it's mentally insane or mentally deficient, but there has to be some sort of an adjudication. Most often that happens if there's an emergency order of detention, but that's the circumstance that federal law prohibits possession of gun.
Okay, and we have background checks. What about competency checks? I thought that was kind of an interesting point. Do you think at any point you foresee that being implemented after a certain age for a firearms owner?
When you say competency, are you saying mental competency or competency with the firearm use?
Both. I mean, after a certain point, can you still use it? Do you still have good aim? Do you still know, that and the mental side of things as well? Do you see that being implemented at all?
Well, I sure hope not, because again, the vast majority of the time when a firearm does its job, it does its job without being fired. The mere brandishing of the firearm oftentimes causes the potential assailant to go away.
There's a minimum age for buying and owning a firearm. should there be a maximum? We had a lot of people write in that say, would you ask him if he thinks there should ever be a maximum age for buying or owning a firearm? What do you say to that? What's your response?
I say that I can't conceive of an age at which I want my First Amendment rights, my Fourth Amendment rights, Fifth, Sixth, Seventh. At no point do I want my rights to retire merely because of my age.
And one of my last questions to you too, just hypothetically, maybe you have a viewer at home who's in the same situation here. Say I have a grandparent who owns guns and the family doesn't think that they're fit to use them anymore. They've got Alzheimer's, maybe they don't even recognize who anybody is. You've tried to, take it away, they say no. Does anybody come in at that point? Is it just their constitutional right to own the gun? I mean, what do you do if you're really concerned about a family member?
They can seek that emergency order of detention, but I think that is such a rare hypothetical circumstance that it really shouldn't have any bearing on public policy.